Hello, my name is Legg. I'm a chartered surveyor. I'm also a Lionheart trustee and ambassador, but most importantly, I'm the mother to a 10-year-old amazing little boy. Today, I am to tell you my story around depression. It begins in 2008 when my husband and I discovered we were expecting a baby, a very much planned for and wanted baby. As much as I wanted to be pregnant, it really wasn't as lovely as I had envisaged, and it came as quite a shock to us when our son arrived a month early. Upon arrival, Thomas Matthew Legg was blue, struggling to breathe and foaming at the mouth. And after 36 hours in special baby care, we were given the truly devastating news that he had a very severe defect in his throat. He needed to be moved to another hospital 50 miles away for an emergency operation. At this point, we were in shock and we were truly overwhelmed as a family. The next day, Thomas had his 8-hour-long operation to remove his esophagus from his windpipe and to connect it to his stomach. He survived and he spent the following 3 weeks in intensive care, largely intentionally paralysed and ventilated. The roller coaster of emotion that a family goes through when undergoing an experience such as that truly does change you as a person. But what I would say is, as horrendous as that situation was, great things can come out of terrible, terrible situations. For the first 7 months, we were largely in hospital, as Thomas had severe breathing difficulties and required many operations. Here's a photograph of Thomas on our first Mothering Sunday. As you can see, he looks extremely unhappy and very sad. However, around 7 months, a corner was very much turned after a rather large and significant operation. We were able to spend a lot more time at home, which in many respects was fantastic. But unfortunately, around this time, a really rather deep depression within myself set in. With some medication and some therapy, I was able to gather myself together. When I say gather myself together, it really was rather just scraping by. We were leaving the dark, life-threatening phase, but we were entering into another phase, which for myself was earmarked with developmental difficulties, with what was clear to me, hearing loss, respiratory illness and seizures. I felt continually torn at this time. I felt very fortunate and very lucky to have this beautiful boy and to have him at home, but I still felt very angry about what had happened and really rather full of sorrow. And I remember very clearly one Sunday night, I just broke. I stopped. I couldn't function. I couldn't put my shoes on. I couldn't brush my hair. I'd literally just ground to a halt. I was taken to a doctor. I was given more medication. I was signed off work. And I was given the phone number of a therapist. This was the height of my depression. I felt as if I was in a deep, dark, highly uncomfortable well with no way out. Nothing was right, everything was wrong, everything was terrible. There was no one to help me. I was never going to get any better. I was never going to feel any better. This was it now, forever. But there was one thought that just managed to disturb those other feelings, that one little thought, and that was how much my son needed me. And with that, I had to start my fight. I spent weeks and months just walking in the hills close to where we live, just crying and then feeling truly numb. When I was at home, I was surrounded by packets of tablets, some to wake me up, some to send me to sleep. And I spent hours talking to my therapist, the most amazing woman that I've ever come to meet. And with all of that, I managed to win, and I keep on winning. I was so lucky to have that something, that somebody to give me purpose, to make me get better. My son needed me, and that was enough. Thomas's journey has been difficult, but I can truly say it was wholly worth it to have the most amazing gentleman that I have now. There is no magic, instant cure to depression. There is no one size fits all. But all I would say is, if you can just reach out, there is help available. If you're an RICS member, there's Lionheart available to you, who are lined up to be able to assist with problems such as the one that I have described. If you are a non-member, there is the NHS, there are charities, there's online help, there's face-to-face help. Help has never been more available. Stigma is reducing all the time. And if you just can find that tiny bit of strength to reach out, there might be a possibility that you will get better. As I said earlier, many wonderful things have come out of the past 11 years. And I don't just mean my son. I have strength and abilities, compassion and even wisdom that I would never have had at such a level, never have had the privilege of having without going through events such as the ones that I've described. Thank you.